Thank you so much, Bob. Thank you so much for your leadership and how timely it is that we are gathered here this morning to talk about how we continue to chart a better future for so many Americans. It's such a pleasure to be on, to bring greetings to you, but to be here with my friend, Congresswoman Barbara Lee. I often think about it, it struck me that both of us were born in Texas, and then we made our way to California, and now here we are in Washington, D.C. But both of us always driven, I know, by social and economic justice. Oh, what a historical time we are in. And some of us are smiling so brightly and can't wipe these smiles off of our faces. But there are so many in our country, those smiling, are smiling through tears because of what we are facing. And it was so wonderful to be a part of that wonderful, historic election, to be a part of this labor movement that played such a role in not just watching history, but being part of helping to make history. On November the 4th, Americans and working people spoke loud and clear about their desire for change and the need to turn this country around. We know from the results, and Bob talked about some of them, that union voters were a key voting bloc for President-elect Obama and other Democratic candidates. AFL-CIO union members, Bob, voted 67% to 30% for change, a pretty astounding margin. The vote was a result of our largest grassroots mobilization in history to elect Barack Obama and Joe Biden and expand the progressive majorities in the House and Senate. And yes, as you have read, and some of you know, that we had 250,000 volunteers in the last 4 days of that campaign. But now the election is over, and the real work begins. As we know, many challenges await the president-elect. President Obama needs to dive right in to create jobs and strengthen the economy. That was the resounding issue for all voters, and especially for working-class voters. In the short term, working people need an economic recovery package that will jumpstart the economy and put Americans back to work. America needs a job. Extension of unemployment benefits and food stamps. Aid to states to continue vital services. Every time we open up our papers, we see another state, another city that is in economic crisis from coast to coast. We need to create jobs to repair the crumbling infrastructure, and oh, how well we know that it's crumbling. Our bridges are falling down, our schools are crumbling. And we must help the automobile manufacturers. Congress needs to do it in the lame duck session this week. But if they will not, President Obama will need to get the job done. We all know that Wall Street got a bailout. Now it is time, past time, to provide relief to people on Main Street. People who have been struggling with economic troubles, declining wages, rising health care costs, disappearing pensions, home foreclosures. It goes on and on. In the long term, we need fundamental change to reverse the decline of the middle class. What we need, Bob, is a new deal. We need a major long-term job creation plan. We can create millions of good jobs and good green jobs by investing in the developing new sources of energy, and by investing in rebuilding our nation's infrastructure. We need to re-regulate the financial sector. We need to reform our broken health care system. Costs are strangling families, and nearly 50 million live without coverage. And more as we see the unemployment figures rise, that is going to continue to rise too if we don't fix it. We need to reform our tax policies and create a new model for fair trade that will restore American competitiveness and protect good jobs and workers' rights around the world. We will work to make this happen. We must work to make this happen. But we also know that regardless of what else we do, workers will never share in the economic growth unless they remain the power and regain the power to bargain with their employers for better wages and benefits. We must give working people back the freedom to improve their lives through unions and collective bargaining. This is key to rebuilding the middle class. Workers with a union make 30% more than those without a union and are much more likely to have benefits. We share in a set of values with the Obama administration. We share a belief that addressing working families' economic interest is a top priority. President-elect Obama understands that we cannot rebuild the middle class unless workers have the free choice to form unions. That is why he and Joe Biden have been such ardent supporters of the Employee Free Choice Act. We will work with the Obama administration to ensure that his economic recovery program includes the Employee Free Choice Act, because we aren't going to be able to ensure the working people are able to share in the eventual economic rebound if they don't have a level playing field. And so we are committed to doing this together. We are going to capture the grassroots energy and enthusiasm that we saw from working people everywhere during this campaign. The broad mobilization we had for this election did not end on Election Day. It is just entering a new phase. Now we're going to continue this unprecedented mobilization to ensure we help deliver the economic change that this country so desperately needs. We must turn this economy around. So many Americans are depending on us doing so. Their future is at stake. Our future is at stake. Failure to do so is not an option. Thank you so much.